Hi, I'm Gordon with the Workforce Centers of South Central Kansas. In this video, we're going to talk about online job applications, help you understand the importance of applying for jobs online, and how to complete an online application so you can get that job you want. It wasn't that long ago when people would apply for jobs by walking in the front door of a business, resume in hand, and apply for that job in person. Now, with the internet available to most people, many employers want job applicants to fill out applications and submit their resumes online. While that may seem like an impersonal way to find new employees, most companies find it more efficient and less costly to accept job applications online. Don't get me wrong, paper resumes are fine, but most of the time you'll be submitting your resume online. Then, if you're called in for an interview, that's where the paper resume comes in. So, make sure you take several copies of it with you, in case the person you're interviewing with wants additional copies. So, let's start at the beginning. There are three things you'll need to do to succeed in applying for any job, whether it's online or in person. First, you need to get organized. You'll need to narrow your job search and decide what area of employment you want to work in, then get ready to search for jobs. But before you begin that search, you'll need to build your resume. That way, when you find a job that you'd like to apply for, you'll have your resume ready to go. You start the resume process by writing down your employment history, then use that information to create your resume. If you don't know how to build your resume, we have a YouTube video that shows you how to do that. Next, start your job search on kansasworks.com. If you don't already have a KansasWorks account, you'll need to set one up and start by choosing your user ID and password. We can't emphasize enough that you need to write down your user ID and password and keep it someplace where you can access it easily. One good way to do that is to write it down on a piece of paper. And if you have a mobile phone with a camera, take a picture of it and keep that picture on your phone. Finally, put together a list of references you can refer potential employers to who will let those companies know that you're a worker with a solid work ethic. There are a lot of places online where you can search for a job. We've already mentioned kansasworks.com, but there are other online job sites such as Indeed.com, Monster.com, ZipRecruiter, and others. You can find jobs there and also upload your resume to those sites. However, be careful. The advantage of using kansasworks.com over those commercial sites is that your personal information is secure on KansasWorks. Unlike kansasworks.com, commercial job site companies like Indeed and Monster sell your personal information, and you'll typically get a lot of spam emails from those sites. Therefore, it's probably best to use those sites only to see what companies are hiring, and then go directly to their company websites to apply for jobs. One word of caution about searching for company websites. Make sure that it's the company's official website and not a site designed to trick you into thinking that it's the official site. There are a lot of websites designed to make you think you're going to a company's official site, but you wind up on a commercial site and your personal information may not be secure. For example, we did a Google search for Dillon's Jobs and got the results you see here. The first two web search results, the ones next to the red arrows, look like they're official Dillon's job sites. But if you look closely at the actual web address, the second line that's in the green font, you'll see the first one is dillons.itsmycareer.com and the second is Indeed.com's website. Those are commercial sites. The third search result, next to the green arrow, is the official Dillon's website. Dillon's is owned by Kroger.com, and you'll see that web address is jobs.kroger.com/Dillon's stores. It's easy to be fooled, so be careful. Here's another example of an official website. As you'll see by the green font, it's a direct link to Dollar Tree's website. This is Dollar Tree's official career website. Once you find the company's website, look for a tab at the top of the home page that says Careers or Jobs or Employment. If you don't see such a tab, scroll all the way to the bottom of the home page and search for Careers, Jobs, or Employment there. It's usually under the About Us section. When you click on that Careers or Jobs link, you'll usually be taken to a page where you can search for jobs at that company. For example, we searched on kansasworks.com and found this cashier's job at Home Depot. You'll see that the job is at its West Wichita store. So to start applying, we clicked on the Apply button. When you click on that Apply button, you'll usually be taken to a page where you're required to create a job seeker account. This is what you'll see when you click on the Apply button. If you've already created a job seeker's account with Home Depot, you'll then be asked to enter your email address and password and then click on the Sign In button. But what if you don't already have a job seeker's account with that company? You'll go to the bottom of the page and click on the Don't Have an Account Yet link. The same is true for many companies. They'll want you to create your job seeker's account before you can begin applying online. Many companies want you to create your job seeker's account by first creating a username and password. It's a good idea to use the same username, such as your email address, for each company where you apply online. Use the same password for each company too. That way it'll be easier for you to remember. You'll see Home Depot has certain requirements for creating a password. You'll need to pay careful attention to those requirements when setting up your password. Some companies also want you to create security questions and answers. For example, there may be a list of security questions you can choose from, such as what city were you born in, or what is your mother's maiden name, or what is your father's middle name, and so on. These questions are designed to help protect your privacy, and the answers you give help you recover your password should you forget it. But always remember to write down your username and password for each company you apply to. Here's a link to a Practice Online application. We suggest you visit the site using the link shown here after you finish watching this video. We also suggest you pause the video briefly so you can either write down the link or take a picture of it with your phone so that you can visit it later. It'll help you practice filling out an online application so that when you're ready to apply online for a job, you'll have some experience. But let's go to the site now so that we can point out some important things you need to know. This is what you'll see when you click on that link. When you click on the Start button on the previous page, you'll be starting the application. This sample online application is typical of those that many companies have on their websites. Every company pretty much has its own version, but what we're showing you here is fairly standard. So let's begin at the top. You see the yellow highlighted box at the top of the page? There's important information in that box. It tells you that each box on this page that has an asterisk next to it, the mark that looks like a small star, must be filled out. So we begin by filling out those boxes with information, like your first name, your last name, and address, and so on. You'll note the Address To field doesn't have an asterisk in it. That means it's not a required field, and adding information in that box is optional. Then, when you finish filling out the boxes on this page, you click the Next button. When entering information in the zip code field, the application wants you to use only your 5-digit zip code and not your complete 9-digit zip code. Also, take a look at the phone number field. You'll see there are dashes included in the phone number. Taking a closer look at the phone number field, you'll see instructions below it that say, enter your phone number using the following format, followed by a string of X's and dashes. That shows you the application wants you to enter your phone number in that format, with the X's representing numbers. In other words, you'll enter your 3-digit area code, followed by a dash, then the first 3 numbers of your phone number, followed by another dash, and then followed by the last 4 digits of your phone number. After that, you click on the Next button. On the next page, the application asks other questions, such as whether you've ever worked for this company before. If so, when did you work there? You're also asked whether you're legally allowed to work in the U.S., the title of the position you're interested in, and so on. Toward the bottom of that page, the application asks for your resume. You have 2 choices when it comes to how to provide it. You can either upload your resume, we'll talk more about uploading resumes later in this video, or you can open up your resume in a Word document, then copy the content of it and paste that content into the large box in rich text format. Let's talk about how we do that. First, you'll open up your resume in Microsoft Word. Then you'll need to click on the word File in the upper left-hand corner of the document and choose Save As and give your resume a new name, such as My New Resume. Next, in the drop-down box below your resume's name, you'll choose Rich Text Format, or RTF, then click Save. After that, you'll copy all the contents of your resume and then paste it into the resume box on the online application. After that, you'll click the Next button. By the way, the Back button at the bottom is there just in case you need to go back to the previous page on the application and change something. As you continue filling out the application, you'll see that if you forget to enter information into a field, you'll be reminded, in red, to complete that field. Once you complete all the fields, then click the Next button. As you progress through the application, you'll be asked about your education. This is where you'll enter information about high school or any college you may have attended. You'll notice there are no asterisks in any of these fields. This means all this information is optional. However, most employers want you to enter some information about your education, such as what high school you attended, providing the name of the school and the city and state where it was located. On the next page, you'll be asked about any skills, training you received in previous jobs, and licenses or certifications you have. That information should be included here. Following that page, the application asks for your employment history. Like this application, most employers want you to start with your current or most recent job and work backwards through earlier jobs. Most companies want you to include the names of the companies where you worked, your job titles, the date you were employed at those companies, and the names of your supervisors or managers. Finally, this application wants you to provide references. You'll see that the application requires you to complete the information on 2 references. There are asterisks in those fields, but the third reference is optional. Most companies, however, want you to provide 3 references. Although this application doesn't ask for the email addresses of your references, many companies require that information too. So, make sure you line up your references beforehand. Get their names, addresses, places of employment, and their job title, and make sure you get their email address and phone numbers. And by all means, make sure you get their permission to use them as references, and give them a heads up about who might be contacting them. Once you've completed the application, there will usually be a Send Now or Submit button to send your application to the employer. Often companies provide a page that will allow you to review your application before you submit it. If not, and if there's a back button on each page, keep clicking that button to go back to the beginning of your application and make sure everything is correct. At the risk of being repetitious, when it comes to your password, we can't stress enough that you need to write it down somewhere and save it. We've worked with many people who've come in to ask for help in following up on their online applications who've forgotten their passwords. Sometimes it's hard to recover that password. So, after you've completed your online application, many companies will send you an email confirming that you applied for the job online. Always check your email after you apply to a company online. That confirmation email is proof the company received your application. And make sure you regularly check your email, since many companies use email to notify job applicants when they want to set up a face-to-face interview. And if you're offered a job, companies will notify you that they want you to log into your job seeker account to complete their onboarding documentation, such as filling out tax documents and other documents that you'll need to start your new job. The same username and password you use to apply is usually the same one that you use to log in again. Finally, it's okay to follow up with the company where you applied. To do so, you should contact the company's Human Resources Department, or if you've had contact with a person at that company, that's the person you should call to follow up. When you apply for jobs online, many companies will want you to upload your resume on their job application page, and that's easy to do. First, look to see if there's an Upload Resume link on the page. It could be a link or a button. If you find it, click on it and look for the Browse button. When you click on that button, your computer files will open up so you can locate your resume on your computer or flash drive. Next, select your resume, usually by double-clicking on it. Then, click the Upload button. Often what happens next is that the company's computer will automatically scan your uploaded resume and look for information in it, such as your name, address, phone number, email address, and so on, and then automatically add that information to your online application. So, after you've uploaded your resume and completed the online application, you're all set. But don't forget to look for that email confirming the company has received your application, and save that email because you may need to review it in the future. Congratulations! You're now ready to get started in filling out an online application. But don't forget, write down your username and password for every company you apply to. Consider keeping a log of those companies that includes the job title and the date you applied, and regularly check your email in case a company wants to interview you. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook at facebook.com/Workforce Center and on YouTube at Wichita Workforce Center. Good luck in getting that new job.